guys, welcome. It's 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm really excited that you decided to come and join us today for our reading club. And why are we reading about self-leadership? Well, I've been teaching leadership for 22 years now, ellabates.com. And one big part of leadership is to be a highly engaged leader. You have to continuously improve your own leadership. So here we are reading, you don't have to buy the book, we are reading Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principles. We are on Principle 7 today, episode 7. We are on April the 2nd, 2020. For those who are watching us on replay, you can do hashtag replay in the comments. For those who are watching us live, please say hi. Let me know that you're here. You can chat. You have to be logged in to chat, but I would love for you to chat with me. I'm just going to end this because I have a pop-up. It's driving me bonkers and nobody wants to see that. There we go. That's that rid of. Okay, Principle 7. This is a good one. This is meaty. I'm all about the goal setting for anyone that knows me personally. So this is a good one. So it's unleash the power of goal setting. Do you love that phrase? Let's unleash the power. We have so much power within. We just got to tap into it, right? A great quote here. If you want to be happy, set a goal that commands your thoughts, liberates your energy, and inspires your hopes. Isn't that something? Andrew Carnegie wrote that. He was the richest man in America in the early 1900s. Once you know your life purpose, determine your vision, and clarify what your true needs and desires are, you have to convert them into specific, measurable goals and objectives, and then act on them with the certainty that you will achieve them. And that's what we've been talking about the last few episodes. If you haven't seen those, definitely pop into those replays. This is a really meaty chapter. So I've just taken segments out of it that I think would be particularly great for you guys. One of the best ways to get clarity and specificity on your goals is to write them out in detail as if you were writing specifications for a work order. Think of it as a request to God or to the universe and include every possible detail. If there is a certain house you want to own, write it down, its specifics in vivid, colorful detail, the location, the landscaping, the furniture, artwork, sound system, floor plan. If it's a picture of the house is available, get a copy of it. If it's an ideal fantasy, take the time to close your eyes and daydream all about it. And then provide a date by which you expect to own it. When you write it all down, your subconscious mind will know what to work on. It will know which opportunities to hone in on and to help you reach your goal. And that's that particular activating system that we spoke about a couple of episodes ago, right? You need goals that stretch you. When you create a goal that's really challenging for you, you really pay attention to it that bit more. And there's that bit more fulfillment when you achieve it too. It's a good thing to have some goals that make you a little uncomfortable as well. Because the ultimate goal, in addition to achieving your material goal, is to become a master at life. And to do this, you will need to learn new skills, expand your vision of what's possible, build new relationships, and learn to overcome your fears, your considerations, and any roadblocks that you have in the way. In addition to turning every aspect of your vision into a measurable goal and all the quarterly and weekly and daily goals that you routinely set, I also encourage you to set what I call a breakthrough goal that will represent a quantum leap for you in your career. Most goals represent incremental improvements, but a quantum leap is really taking you from A to C or D or E. They're like plays that gain you 4 yards in the game of football, for example. But what if you could come out on the first play of the game and throw a 50-yard pass? That would be a quantum leap in your progress. Just as there are plays in football that move you far up the field in one move, there are plays in life that can do the same. They include things like losing 60 pounds, writing a book, publishing an article, getting on Oprah, winning a gold medal at the Olympics, creating a killer website, things like that. And don't worry if these are really big, hairy, audacious goals, as often they've been heard of. That's okay too, because who says you can't complete those goals? Who says that? The only limits are the ones you put on your own mind. Maybe it's getting a degree, maybe it's getting a license, maybe it's opening up your own spa. Wouldn't that be a goal worth pursuing with passion, right? If you were a stay-at-home mum whose entire lifestyle and finances would change if you earn an extra $1,000 a month, maybe you're starting your own business. What he means by breakthrough goal is something that changes your life, brings you exponential new opportunities, gets you in front of the right people, and takes every activity, relationship, or group that you're involved in to a higher level. What would breakthrough goal be for you, for example? Have a think about that. Writing a best-selling book was a breakthrough goal for Jack Canfield. It took us from being known in a couple of narrow fields to being recognized internationally. It created greater demand for our audio programs, speeches, and seminars, and the additional income it produced allowed us to improve our lifestyle, secure our retirement, hire staff, take on more projects, and more importantly, have a larger impact on the world. And that's what I look at is what is the impact of this particular goal? Who's it going to impact? And if it impacts you, it quite possibly, in fact, it will directly affect other people. It's that domino effect. Or if you look at it as a small drop in water, right, it has the cascade effect. So if you're happier, your kids, your friends, your family are happier. When they're happier, their kids, their family, their friends are happier. And so it goes on. It has a ripple effect. So every goal that you set, every milestone, every sense of fulfillment you set affects a multitude of other people. You agree? Yeah, so you're here live. Pop in the comments, say hi, and tell me what you're thinking. I'm actually representing, I'm in Toronto, for those who aren't in Toronto. So I've actually got the Toronto mug. You'll notice every day I have a Starbucks mug from different cities. Today is Toronto, because that's where I'm from here, not originally, as you can see by the accent here, and the accent even. Here's another cool one. Everyone know who Jim Carrey is? Because you should if you're from Canada, because that's where he's from. In 1990, Jim Carrey was a struggling young Canadian comic trying to make his way in LA. He drove his old Toyota up to Mulholland Drive. And while sitting there looking at the city below and dreaming of his future, he wrote himself a check for $10 million. Can you believe this? Dated it Thanksgiving 1995, so that's 5 years later, added the notation for acting services rendered, and carried it in his wallet from that day forth. The rest, as they say, is history, because Carrey's optimism and tenacity eventually paid off. And by 1995, after the huge box office success of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Mask, and Dumber and Dumber, his asking price had risen to $20 million per picture. $20 million. Can you imagine earning that? When Carrey's father died in 1994, he placed the $10 million check into his father's coffin as a tribute to the man who had both started and nurtured his dreams of being a star. Isn't that something, eh? Now that is visionary. Now, some of you might be sat there thinking, that's ridiculous. Hi, Andrea. How are you doing? You might think that's ridiculous, writing a $10 million check. I personally know people who have written themselves imaginary checks and they have received that quantity of money. And here's the reasons why. There's two things. There's something called the law of attraction. If you are activating your reticular activating system, which is the part of the brain that scans for opportunities to see you safe, to see you thrive, to keep you safe is obviously the number one reason for your brain, but it's to also help you thrive. So it'll constantly look for opportunities. So it's looking for opportunities to earn that amount of money. Also, if you believe in the spiritual world, it is raising your vibrations, putting it out there to the universe and saying, this is what I want and I'm ready for it. And some people believe that is that the magnitude of attraction, that it will come to you. I have personally done this. I wrote a figure on my whiteboard that I needed specifically for a summer vacation last year or the year before, I don't recall. And every day I kept repeating that figure. And within 3 days I had that money and it was 4 figures long. Yeah, it can happen. So dream about it. If you can dream about it, you can achieve it, right? Dream it, you achieve it. I'm sure you've all heard that phrase, right? Let's talk about considerations, fears, and roadblocks. It's important to understand that as soon as you set a goal, there are going to be things that emerge that stop most people, but not you. I know it's not you. If you know that these 3 things are part of the process, then you can treat them as what they are. They're just things to handle, just things to get out of the way, right? Those 3 obstacles to success are consideration, fears, and roadblocks. So as soon as you think them or hear them, whether it's from you or other people, you just need to think of, well, that's okay. I'm just going to work twice as hard, or I'll find time to be with my children, or You might have thoughts such as, my territory is maxed out. I can't see how I could possibly get people on my route to buy any more product from me. Maybe you will say, for example, oh, I can't possibly run a marathon, right? These are all just limiting beliefs. I'm sorry, I'm looking over here. My sons decided to peek out of the bedroom. Right, put them to play for the next 20 minutes. It's come to join us. So hi, Jack, my little Jack. So let's take a look at some notes that I wrote down here. So we've got 10 minutes to discuss this. Please join in. This is Jack in the background. Jack, you want to go play? I'll be done in 10 minutes. You can tell this is during the COVID-19. Jack, can you say hi to everybody?
Hi.
You are live on the internet. Oh, yeah. Okay, can you go back to Lily's room? I'll be done in 10 minutes, okay? Please. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for your patience. That's my little boy. Anyway, 7th principle. So we started talking about SMART goals, and I want to go through them just for a minute. So has everybody heard of SMART? I'm going to write what it down. It's an acronym for setting really successful goals. So there's a difference between a goal and a really successful one. And the difference is detail, getting specific, knowing exactly who, what, where, when, and how. So let me break it down for you. S stands for specific. So for example, if one of those things is, I want to develop myself as a leader. Great goal, yeah. But what part of leadership? There's so many different intersectionalities and sub-subjects of leadership. Maybe you're going to focus on communicating as a leader. Okay, let's get specific. How are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to look at some other great leaders like Jack Canfield, John Maxwell, Tony Robbins, maybe your current prime minister, whoever's in politics, whoever you admire as a leader. It might be a faculty member, it might be a coach on your sports team, it might be somebody who you work with. I really hope it's somebody who you work with, your manager, right? Maybe you're going to watch them and observe them. When are you going to do that? And what are you going to do? And why are you going to do it? Why are you doing that? What are you hoping to achieve by developing it? Get really specific. So for example, I'm going to develop myself as a leader, right through to I'm going to develop my communication style as a leader by watching Gary Vaynerchuk on Instagram daily at 10 a.m. for 20 minutes every day and applying what he does as a really great leader, right? You want to plug that in? You can plug it in over here. Son just wants to plug it in his iPhone. Here we go. Yep, there you go. You're all plugged in. All right, beautiful. Thank you, Jack. Okay, I'm just going to be talking for another 9 minutes. M stands for measurable. If you cannot measure it, you plugged in. All right, beautiful. Thank you, Jack. Okay, I'm just going to be talking for another 9 minutes. M stands for measurable. If you cannot measure it, how are you going to evaluate this? Come on. How are you going to evaluate this at different milestones and at the end? How are you going to evaluate it? So, for example, if you are, let's take the one that we just had as an example. If you are indeed going to leverage your communication style as a leader, are you in fact going to elicit feedback at the end of it to see how successful you are? Turn that right down, please. See how successful you are as a leader, as an example, right? So how are you going to measure it? A is it attainable? Is it actually what you want to do, right? Do you have the right resources? Do you have everything that you need to start? Is it within your reach, or is it massively far out into the future? And do you need to scale it down into smaller, more manageable goals? We talked about this yesterday. Turn it right down, please. You have to turn it right down, please.
It is.
Oh, let me just do it for you. Excuse me, everybody. There you go. Oh, that's turning it up. Silly mummy. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Watching Minecraft, because, you know, it's all the rage here in 2020, April 2020. Yeah. So are you really wanting to do it? We spoke about it last episode. Realistic. Is it realistic in this day and age? So if you're saying, you know, I want to invent something that pulls up a house out the ground and flows away in balloons, is it realistic? Or are you going to start with something that's a bit more of a closer invention? Are you going to look more into foundations of houses and then work towards that goal? And then finally, and really, really important, just looking at the time here, is timely. Meaning, one of our biggest motivations that will ever get you anywhere is a deadline. If you don't have a deadline, guess what's going to happen? You're just going to be like, I'm just going to do it whenever I feel like it. So did you know that by the 15th of January, most people have not completed their New Year's Eve goals? In fact, they have given up. Did you know that? 15th of January. Can you believe that? That's just crazy, isn't it? So here's the reason why. It's because either it seems far too big, or it's overwhelming, or they don't have the resources they need. But here's the big kicker. They don't have a deadline. So let's say, for example, that was your goal for developing in communication as a leader, for example. You wouldn't have your goal as this year, because you could start on the 31st of December. You would say, by the end of this year, I'll have mastered certain parts of communication. But by end of January, I will have studied specific styles of communication. Maybe it is emotional intelligence. Maybe it is coaching and mentoring, for example. You'd have smaller milestones, right? Make sure you give yourself a deadline. Nothing is more motivating than a deadline. Trust me. Who's used the SMART goals before? Who's online that's going to be vulnerable and say, yes, I have, and have you found them useful? I've got a really great, in fact, I'm going to write it down here to email those people who are subscribed. And feel free to subscribe. The subscriptions at the bottom in the description there. I have a really great goal setting worksheet. If anybody wants to see that, more than happy to send that off to you. Look at your goals always. Be reminded of your goals. I invite you today to go and invite someone who you live with, the next person you speak to on the phone and say, what was your New Year's resolution this year? And let's see how many of them can remember it, because not everyone can. You have, Rowida. Yeah, it was very helpful. I'm so happy to hear that. Well done. Yeah, it's great. Jack Canfield actually suggests putting it in an important place. So not your Jack, aren't you? Yeah. Jack Canfield's the guy that wrote this book, The Success Principles. That's right. And he actually has his goal written on the back of a business card or something, business card size, and has it in his wallet. So every time he opens his wallet, ta-da, there it is. I told you a few episodes ago, I put mine on yellow sticky notes, and I have them on the water jug in the fridge. I have it on the cat food. I have it on my mirror in my bathroom. So I'm constantly reminded of my goal and how I'm going to get there and my milestones, right? Constant reminder. You will not forget it. It's constantly in front of you. Make it your desktop screensaver. Maybe make it your desktop. Oh, I can't talk again today. Desktop screensaver on your phone as an example. That's a really good one. Do a SWOT analysis. Who's heard of this? SWOT analysis. Yeah, it's really good. What are your strengths, weaknesses, obstacles, and threats? Your obstacles and threats, the key things to look at here. What's going to possibly stand in your way? So, for example, let's go back to the leadership wanting to be a better communicator. So what could stand in his way is finding the time to spend 20 minutes a day learning. So what does he need to do in advance? Schedule the time in, protect that time. So it's great. It's all good and well scheduling it, but how are you going to protect it? Are you going to tell the people around you that between this time and this time is when I do my learning for the goal that I've set, right? Maybe you do it at a time where you know you're not going to be interrupted. Like me, not necessarily the best time, but we didn't expect this coming, right? But I try to choose the best time that wasn't the most meeting heavy for me in my schedule and things like that. And I'm going to leave you with this, one last minute. And please ask any questions away that you have here now in the comments, and I'll address them for you. But here's the key. Writing down a goal is brilliant. Having it detailed, knowing exactly what you want to do and making it super smart. And again, just to remind you, I can send you a SMART goal worksheet. If you want it, just email me, ella@ellabates.com, and those who are subscribed are going to get it. But here's the key. You've got to take massive action. As soon as you've thought about this goal, do one small thing towards that goal. Just one. So, for example, if it is communicating better as a leader, go and start researching or reaching out to people who you think are great leaders and say, hey, can I spend some time with you? You're a great leader and I want to observe you. Do one thing now towards your goal. Right now, whatever your goal has been or you want it to be, do something today, no matter how small or how big, towards that particular goal, right? Taking massive action is everything. Guys, we are 20 minutes in. I thank you so much for your interaction. Thank you for letting Jack come and join us. You going to say bye, Jack?
Bye.
Yeah. These kids have been copying me. It's kind of cool. Guys, I wish you all the best. I'll see you on tomorrow's episode, 2 p.m., Monday to Friday, Eastern. If you want to subscribe and get some notifications of when we're about to go live, feel free to do that. But I'll see you on tomorrow's episode. That's episode 7 done for today. Thank you. You're welcome.